have our final project, Celebration of Knowledge. I am going to get this window set up for the presentation. Um, so we are asked in the introduction where I am at in my week 4 commitment to my Sankalpa. To me, I'm doing fine. If I've had hiccups, I've had hiccups. I mean, it's part of life. I mean, each experience, how you take it in, digest it, is how your body's going to react. So, yes, I set a sankalpa, but I know things are going to happen. And if I upset myself, it's going to upset my body and my system. So all I can do is try my best every day and make sure that I'm aware of what's going on around me. I'm rational about it, and I make the proper adjustments. Even if it's not going perfectly as what I planned out, nothing's perfect. So that is my introduction to my Sankalpa. Now I'm going to go into the Agni, Ama, and Ojas. So we're first asked to discuss the theory of Agni, Ama, and Ojas from an Ayurvedic perspective and how it relates to diet. So as far as how it relates to diet in Ayurveda, Agni is that digestive intelligence. The Jatar Agni is the main one. There are other Agnis, but they each relate to the tissues in the body, the Dhatus. So that Agni, that digestive intelligence, it's always got to have that fire burning. That's usually what the first thing ends up being wrong with people. So if that is disturbed, it leads to indigestion, which is meaning you're not taking in wholesome foods, how you're preparing them, where you're getting it from, how they're grown, if your routine's off balance, if you're not sitting and eating them calmly in a non-rushed environment with kindness to yourself. So even if the food is wholesome and stuff like that, all those things, just how you prepare the food, can upset and still cause indigestion, adjourn. So we want to make sure the environment around us is like, I mean, it's as at peace as it can be, because if you've got kids or fur babies, they're going to be crazy, and you just come to expect that and not upset yourself or the environment around you. So with that adjourn leading to that indigestion, it'll result in the ama, and that ama, it ends up being undigested food. So say you end up taking in your next meal and you had that disrupted environment while you were eating it, or you were not in a great mood, your emotions were all over the place when you were making your food, or just anything to that, that is going to create ama in the body. And people want to think that ama is just the undigested food. It's not. It's how your emotions are, what your environment's like, what your routine is. That can all lead to ama. It can cause those imbalances in the body. So what we want to do, we want to make sure we're taking in wholesome food, we're sticking to a routine, we are being kind to ourselves, creating that calmness in ourselves, that kindness to ourselves, even when things unexpected do happen. Because what ends up happening if you get that wholesome food in your body with your emotions where they need to be, your routine where it needs to be, even if there are disruptions, they create ojas. And ojas is that fine, refined, natural, nutritive fluid that goes throughout the whole body. And that's what we want. We want the Agni to go to each of the tissues one by one and give that substance that it provides. so that in the end we can get ojas. And with ojas, we get the soma, which is the consciousness part of everything. And with ojas in balance and the soma there, it gives you this wholeness of consciousness together and freedom from imbalance, and you just have a blissful, healthy life. So I'm going to talk about now the relationship between my Agni, Ama, and Ojas when I made the commitment to my Sankalpa and my mid-course envisioning project. I've actually been doing quite well. My Agni is usually fine. I know around lunchtime, since that's more Pitta time, my Agni will be a little faint because that's supposed to be the biggest meal of the day. My Ama is usually, I notice more of it in the morning when I have to get rid of the waste in my body. And then usually throughout the day, I rarely notice it at all, and it's become less and less. Ojas, I've noticed more clarity in everything, in all my pulses, and that's been actually really nice. So my state of my Agni is usually Vishama with a Tikshna tendencies. And I've been kind of seeing the Sama mostly. I don't see Manda too much because I have to keep my Vishama and Tikshna in balance because it'll dry out the Manda anyway. So I usually never have that anyway. Well, it doesn't dry out the Manda, it dries out my Kapha. So I usually don't have any Manda at all, if any. The diet that I'd chosen and how it impacted my state of my Agni and my level of Ama, it helped out a lot because with me, I have to have something simple, easy to prepare so I don't get frustrated because I easily frustrate when something is not simple to prepare. And then when I get down to eating, I don't want to eat at all because it was just frustrating. So I was happy I chose something simple that worked for me. My reflections and my direct experience, the choices I made as far as recipes. Like I said, I kept them simple. I still did the morning stewed apples. Even my kids asked for those, which was awesome for me. I did the Ayurvedic take on oatmeal, which was nice. Like the aroma was nice in it. The taste was nice. I just loved it. And I've never had saffron before, and it has saffron in there, and that just made all the difference. And it had cardamom pods that you had to cook in there, and that was just amazing. It was just a different flavor. I love flavor. I did the thermos flask lunch, the prawn dal, and the chapati bread. Those are all simple recipes. They're quick, and I can sit down and eat them. I can cook and be happy about it. It's not going to take long or be too difficult, and that's something that I need for me, because if it's too difficult, I immediately stress out. Now, with my grocery shopping, I usually did Kroger Click List because grocery shopping is one of those other evils for me. I don't like it. Like, I'm not fond of cooking. So I let somebody pick up my groceries, and they do a wonderful job. They are great people there. And that way I don't pick stuff I'm not supposed to. I kind of stick to my list. And then with more of the spices and herbs that I need, sometimes I have to get them from Amazon to make sure that I have what I need and it's organic. And I always check the reviews on that too to make sure that people have had good experiences with them. Cooking, like I said, the recipes I chose, they were quick and easy, so that way my emotions were in the right place, so I could sit down, not be rushed, eat in calmness, be kind to myself. And that made it all the better because I've had so much trouble with eating lately, because when I cook it, I'm like, I don't even want to eat. Or I get having that mood before I even cook it, like it's going to take too long. The taste of the meals was amazing. I loved it. And that helped all. And like I said, I've been saying the overall approach and ability to eating is to be calm, kind, and not rush or not have a rush environment, because you have to do that for yourself. So, um, yeah, you could be putting all the wholesome food in your body, but if that environment's not right and you're not treating yourself right, it's not going to be good at all for you. So, the analysis of my pulse. As far as that, my dominant part of my pulse was vata. That's where I usually always feel it's like a heartbeat. Um, my subdoshas, samana vata, pachaka pitta, kledaka kapha, um, they they changed because I would notice they would have more clarity to them. There was no covering. Um, and that made it all the better as far as that. Um, they had the qualities they should have if I am balanced. My ojas did increase. I would notice some decrease, but usually that'd be in the morning when I have to get rid of the waste in my body. The amas, it would go between decrease and stay the same. Like I said, it was usually just in the morning when I had to relieve those wastes. My Agni, my Samana, uh, as far as Samana, Vishama, Tikshna, and Manda, now um, they see, I see more of the Samana Agni, which is great because I I've felt better than I have in a long time. I mean, the Vishama and the Tikshna show up occasionally, but I've felt a lot better than I have in a long, long time. So, and then I'm getting that connection with my pulse, which means I'm getting that connection with my inner self and how I'm actually feeling. So I'm pretty much in a good place. I know there are going to be those hiccups, and I've had a few of those, but I'm aware of them. I don't try to overreact, because if you do, just those emotions will cause an imbalance, and it doesn't matter what your diet's doing for you. So, in conclusion, I I'm in my assessment, as far as when my mid-course envisioning project, I began it, to the final project. Um, like I said, I could have planned everything perfectly, but each day, each experience that you have is so different. And when I was younger, my pitta was all over the place, and then vata was worrying and fanning pitta even more. So I was a hothead. I would not have been as calm or aware and rational as I am now. And just having TM and doing that twice a day has helped so much. So that way I can make sure I'm taking care of myself wholly, which making sure I'm getting wholesome foods, making sure I'm preparing them correctly, making sure I'm staying on a routine as far as eating schedule, um, just how I'm picking out the food, how I'm preparing it, how I'm sitting down and eating it, all that stuff. It really is important how your environment is around you, not just the food you're putting in your body. Because a lot of people think, oh, exercise and eat right, and that'll be all good. They don't think about their physical mind, where it is when they're doing all that stuff, and that can be causing the imbalance. So I was very happy with my experience in this, and I'm happy to learn more. And based on my findings of my experience, I'd say it was a success for me. And I thank you very much for listening. Have a wonderful summer, and I hope to see some of y'all again next semester.